We are Rogue Media Sports.
As Patrice Evra once said, supporting Arsenal is like watching Netflix. You are always waiting for next season. And I actually agree with him. Liverpool, one hand on the title. One hand on the title. Oh my days. This is Man on Football Fans Podcast. Let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Man of Football Fans Podcast, your good home for all things Premier League football. As always, I'm so glad to join you. I'm David. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you all so much. So thank you. Yes, Matchweek 26. It did not disappoint. It did not disappoint, people. But before we get into all the juicy tea of Matchweek 26, I'll first start by saying, thank you to all our subscribers. If you are subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Without you all, this wouldn't be possible. So thank you. We love you guys. Mwah. Thank you all. And to our new people checking out the channel that haven't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you. We love you all so much too. So hit that subscribe button. And please, to our new and returning subscribers, please give us a thumbs up. We love you all so much. Thank you, because without you all, this wouldn't be possible. So please don't forget the thumbs up. And also, don't forget, check out Mind of Football Fans Podcast on all podcast platforms. If you're not on YouTube, if you're not vibe with YouTube, that's okay. Check out our other podcast platforms. Check out Mind of Football Fans on all podcast platforms, Spotify, Google Podcasts, our podcast, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to your podcast. Check us out there and check out our socials, Instagram and TikTok, Mind of Football Fans Podcast. That's where we drop short content and added content for you all. So please check us out and give us a follow. No, thank you so much. Thank you all so much. But let's jump right into it, shall we? Matchweek 26 did not disappoint. I obviously want to start with the big game, but before I start with the big game, I'll have to say this. This weekend was meant to be just solely Liverpool. We're all meant to come out this weekend saying Liverpool. Why is that? We'll get to that in a minute. But sadly, that's not the case. Sadly, this weekend had to just be about Arsenal. Let's jump right into it. Matchweek 26 started with the big game, or rather, featured the big game of the match week. Manchester City 0, Liverpool 2. What was meant to be the game of the match week ended up just being a snooze fest. I'm not even going to lie. Just ended up being a snooze fest. Manchester City passed the ball from left to right, front to back, middle to side to side. They just kept going back and forth. And they did nothing productive. Other than the one goal that was ruled for offside. That was the only productive thing they did the whole game. And Liverpool just did Liverpool things. Throughout the season, we've seen a pattern from Liverpool. Score 2 goals, and that's the game. They won't allow you score one, well, on rare occasions. They won't allow you score one. They won't allow you have chances. They will score 2, and the game is done. The game was done in the first half. So it's as simple as that. Liverpool dominated from start to finish. And the funny thing about everything is they dominated without the ball. Literally, Liverpool had no ball. All they did was they won the ball, took their chances, and game was done. Salah doing Salah things, slide back to front, bam, 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 boom, game done. Game was done at halftime. But yes, Manchester City did what we have seen Manchester City do a lot this season. Have control of the ball, pass left, right, back and front, side to side, did everything and couldn't produce nothing. They couldn't literally produce nothing. The players looked shell-shocked. City players, I'm watching a City game and I'm bored. For the first time I'm watching a City game and I'm bored. Why? because City are playing like they don't have no game plan. They are playing like all they came to do was just passing practice. That's literally all they did. Passing practice, passing the ball left to right, passing the ball front to back, passing the ball side to side, winger to winger, and obviously Doku taking on Alexander-Arnold. That was fun to watch for a minute, but at the point it just became like, play, repeat, 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 repeat. Just like it was on a loop. You literally take the ball, dribble Alexander-Arnold, and then just put in a terrible cross, and then Konate blocks it. It goes for a corner, or it goes back, for City to reshuffle. Like literally the same thing, the same thing. City had no game plan. City looked like they didn't know what to do with the ball, and they didn't know what to do without the ball. Every time Liverpool had the ball, they had their way. And that was a very rare. That kind of tells you a lot of this City team, tells you a lot of where this City team are. But credit to Liverpool. As I said, the game was done at halftime. Because in the second half, City didn't even Liverpool didn't break a sweat defending City. Like literally. Van Dijk and Konate, amazing. 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 Liverpool took their chances. First two chances they had. First goal? Corner. We title Arsenal as the kings of corners, but Liverpool have taken this to a whole new level. And Szoboszlai came out after the game and said they practiced it the day before, and you could see that they practiced it the day before. Literally, simple set piece routine. Szoboszlai ran to the far post. McAllister played the ball, and then he just allow me to say outer footed it. I don't know if that's correct English, but we'll move on. He just used his outer foot and played a wonderful pass to Salah. I don't know how or what happened. The ball accurately got to Salah. And Salah, obviously, stroke of luck, placed it, and it went in. 1-0. Bam. Liverpool then catch City again. This time, Salah playing the ball to Szoboszlai, and Szoboszlai finished it. If I was to give you a man of the match for this game, it would be Dominic Szoboszlai. Because this guy was everywhere yesterday. This guy was literally everywhere yesterday. He literally back to front, front to back. He loses the ball, he sprints. He has the ball, he sprints forward. Liverpool scored the third goal, and obviously that was cancelled offside procedures, but that was Dominic Szoboszlai from back to front, and he was just marginally caught offside. And obviously that goal was cancelled. But shout out to Dominic Szoboszlai. This team is the definition of a selfless team. And that's kind of what you need when you're going for the title, a team that is selfless. Yes, we all know they have a star in Salah. We all know that Salah is a star. Like, let's be frank. Salah is their moneymaker, right? But they all still play for themselves. It's not everyone playing. And I'm not trying to say other teams are playing for themselves and whatever. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying the selflessness of this team is just different. I don't know how to explain. Like the selflessness you see in Liverpool that emanates from Liverpool is just different. It's like when I'm watching Madrid, like the selflessness of Madrid, that's kind of what you see in Liverpool. That's kind of what it is. That's the best way I can explain it. Everyone, yes, we know there are stars in the team, but we're all playing for each other. Going back to defend, pushing forward when we have the ball, winning the ball back quickly, pressing as a unit. That's what you see in this Liverpool team. And that's what the whole team is doing. And that is credit to Slot. The mindset change that Slot brought. We all know when Klopp was in charge, it was power football. It was bam, 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 boom, boom, going at 50 miles an hour, But now everything is calm, but they are still playing entertaining football, interesting football. Every time Liverpool had the ball and they were going forward, I thought they would score. That's why I started watching Liverpool. Credit to Liverpool. I said this last episode, if you all remember. If Liverpool had 5 games in 15 days, the first one being against Everton, they drew that one. The next one was against Wolves, yes, and then they won that one 2-1. Bridger barely scraped through Wolves 2-1. Then this was meant to be then next one being City. No, the Aston Villa. The Aston Villa was the next one. They drew that one 2-2. right? Barely made that. I think they barely scraped out of that game. And then I was like, if they play Aston Villa, play City, and they play Newcastle, who they'll play next come Wednesday, they come out of those 3 games with 9 points, they have won the league. Obviously, I said that. Obviously, saying that they drew to Aston Villa, they beat City. So that's just 4 points. But I did not take account to Arsenal. I did not take account Arsenal's obviously playing. I didn't take account of that. I'm so sad to say this, but I fear Liverpool have a one hand on the title. It's so sad that as an Arsenal fan, I'm saying Liverpool have one hand on the title. I feel so sad saying this. You can see the tears on my face. But obviously football, anything can happen. Liverpool could, lose 3 games on the spin and Arsenal just ends up overtaking them. Anything is possible. The season is not done. But as of right now, Liverpool have a hand on the title. As for City, this is just rebuilding. I think this season is just all about finishing 4th. We also saw Madrid did to them in Champions League. They could not keep up with Madrid. And I said it, obviously. I said I'm giving them no chance at all against Madrid. And Madrid dismantled them. Mbappe dismantled them. It was crazy to watch. City is all about rebuilding. Most of the players on that City team are, how do I say, they are way past their prime. Let's put it like that. And it's no disrespect. They are just way past their prime. It's time for a rebuild. And it's going to take work. It's going to take a lot of money. And that's okay because City got the money, So, yeah, but credit to Liverpool, one hand on the title. And as I said a few minutes ago, I did not take account to what Arsenal would do when I said if Liverpool come out with 9 points, they'll win the league. I did not take account to Arsenal. And with that being said, Arsenal 0, West Ham 1. Arsenal 0, West Ham 1. Patrice everyone said watching Arsenal play is like watching Netflix, always waiting for next season. And I fear I have to agree with him. I fear I do have to agree with him. I said Liverpool, if they come out of those 3 games, Aston Villa, City, and Newcastle with all 9 points, they win the league. I said that with the mind that Arsenal will win all their games. Well, was I wrong? Was I indeed very wrong? Arsenal were not going to win all their games. Arsenal came into this with they literally didn't really have pressure. There was no pressure on them. And they just looked lost out there. They couldn't break down a sturdy West Ham team, a West Ham team that have come to the Emirates back-to-back seasons and have taken the dub. Back-to-back seasons and have taken the win. Last season, we all saw it. They came and they put on a defensive masterpiece. Different manager, David Moyes, and Arsenal could not break them down. They came to the Emirates this season again and did the same thing under a different manager. Same exact thing, defensive masterpiece. Arsenal could not break them down. Yes, I know you all see the red card on the screen, Miles Lewis Kelly. Again, red card. We'll come into that in a minute. But the red card had no effect on the game. The game was already done. Arsenal could not. 2 shots on target in the whole game. 2 shots. The red card the red card had no effect on the game. Yes, Arsenal have 5 red cards this season, out of which 1 has an asterisk to it because he ended up being, called for the red card against Wolves, Miles Lewis Kelly again. Some might say Arsenal have a red card problem. I doubt that. I won't say they have a red card problem, but I will say it has cost Arsenal a few points this season. Out of which I don't think is their fault because let's analyze it for a minute. The first red card coming against Brighton, that was the first of its type. That red card was the first of its type. And it hasn't happened in the league. Except to Arsenal. Again. Except to Arsenal again. It hasn't happened to any other team except to Arsenal again. They kicking the ball away. Arsenal. Declan Rice. Second one, Leandro Trossard. The same type of red card. Only to Arsenal. Obviously, I'm not here to say Arsenal have a propaganda. I'm not here to know that. That's what I'm here to say. But those 2 red cards have been sketchy. The only red card I will concede to, actually, the 2 only red cards I will concede to Saliba against Bournemouth, because that was purely a pure red card. That was bad. And then Luis Kelly, also a terrible red card. Those two red cards, the one in this game and the one against Bournemouth. Those are the only two red cards. So only two red cards. I saw a stat that since Arteta took over, Arsenal have had the most red cards in the league, which I think has some of it has been biased and some of it have been fair. I'll say about 60% of the red cards Arsenal have received since Arteta took over have been really biased. And the other 40% have been valid. Those are valid red cards. But anyways, not keeping on that, the red card had no effect on this game. Arsenal could literally not break the team. Again, like City passing left to right, front to back, center to center, middle to middle, whatever you want to call it, just passing practice, literally what it was. Credit to West Ham. Credit to West Ham because they put on a defensive masterclass. Stayed in their shape, defended well, and what a goal by Jared Bowen created by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. You can criticize Declan Rice for not tracking his runner. You can criticize Ricardo Calafiori for not staying tight to Wan-Bissaka, but we can't take away the fact that that was a wonderful goal by West Ham. This weekend was not meant for Arsenal. This weekend was not meant for Arsenal in any way, shape, or form. Arsenal were meant to win this game and, be 8 points behind with a game in hand. Cut down to 5, Liverpool lose 2 games, and you are back in it. But no, Arsenal just had to do what some might say Arsenal things. Pass left to right, have 2 shots on goal, not score and concede a stupid goal to lose the game 1-0. West Ham handing Arsenal their first home loss of the season. That's crazy to think of. That's a bright point. The fact that Arsenal have just lost 1 home game this season, that's crazy. But yeah, watching Arsenal is like watching Netflix. You're always waiting for next season. Sadly, for fans like myself, Arsenal fans like myself, this is like watching our favorite show on Netflix, where one season is done, we have to wait for the next season. So sad to think of. I did not take into account when I said Liverpool win the league with 9 points. They have literally won the league with 4 points. Literally, you might as well. Obviously, a miracle has to happen. This was meant to be Arsenal season. Bearing in mind that what we have seen from Man City. This was meant to be like, obviously, we all remember what happened with Leicester, where that one season no one was on top. And then Leicester just came and took control. This was meant to be Arsenal. City falling off the rails. Arsenal were meant to come in and pounce. But that didn't happen. That did not happen. And except a miracle happens, Liverpool have one hand on the title. And it pains me as an Arsenal fan. It pains me. I mean, it is what it is. Credit to West Ham, credit to Graham Potter. Shout out to an amazing defensive masterclass by an amazing team in West Ham. Moving on, Everton to Manchester United. I'm not even going to say too much. I'm actually quite talking about Arsenal has made me shell-shocked a bit. When this game started, I kind of said, if Everton don't win this game, I don't know what's happening. And they should have won the game. We'll get to that in a few minutes. They started the game, and in the first 33 minutes, they were 2-0 up going into halftime. 2-0 up on Manchester United. I didn't necessarily see Manchester United winning this game. The best I could see was a draw, which ended up being the result. But they were poor in the first half. Manchester United were poor. Poor in capital letters with exclamation mark, bam, bam, bam. Poor. Credit to Everton, David Moyes has come and rejuvenated that ball club. Shout out to Everton. But obviously, they were also stupid. They gave away 2 points. But that's all bearing in mind that Manchester United came out in the second half and they looked stunning. Fernandes came out and he was the leader that we expected him to be. We expect him to be, rather. We got 2 beautiful goals by 2 wonderful players. Some might say Everton should have been awarded a penalty. That's up for debate. I think it was a clear penalty. I think that was a clear push. Any other day with a different referee, that would have been given a penalty. But sadly, that wasn't the case. Everton squandered a 2-goal lead. It is what it is. United, way better performance in the second half. If you start every game the way you started that second half, you probably will win every game from now to the end of the season. Well, again, except against Arsenal. uh, but but yeah, shout out to Everton, shout out to United. Beautiful game of football. Especially in the second half, I think it was for us neutral fans. It was fun to see a game like that. For Manchester United fans, obviously you all were losing your heads in the first half, but credit to your team. Second half, you came out and balled. Moving on, as I said, I'm not going to say too much on this. Moving on, Aston Villa 2, Chelsea 1. Oh my days. I guess I'll keep apologizing until that kingdom come. Chelsea fans, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for building your hope. Chelsea took the lead 1-0 in the first half, and they probably should have scored more. But they ended up doing what every team with a 1-0 lead does. They take a 1-0 lead and then they sit back. They allowed Villa into the game. They allowed Villa to find their stride. And credit in second half, Unai Emery made some subs, brought on Marcus Rashford. Obviously, Marcus Asensio obviously started the game, the scorer of the 2 goals, both assisted by Marcus Rashford. Now, am I convinced that Rashford has found his form? But I feel he's on his way there. He's on his way to finding his best form. 2 beautiful assists by Marcus Rashford, 2 beautiful, well-taken goals by Marcus Asensio to turn around the game for Aston Villa. Aston Villa were inbound for, I think, their 7th draw in a row or something like that. But they were able to, turn the game around and secure all 3 points. So credit to Aston Villa. Credit to Marcus Asensio and Marcus Rashford. 2 goals for Marcus Asensio, 2 goals for Marcus Rashford. Shout out to Marcus Rashford. Now, as for Chelsea, I don't know what it is. I think they're over-reliant on Cole Palmer, and Cole Palmer doesn't turn up. They don't turn up as a ball club. And that's kind of what it is. I don't know what Enzo Maresca can do to change that, but that's sadly just what it is. If Cole Palmer doesn't turn up, Chelsea doesn't turn up. Chelsea, I think, in their last, 9-10 games have just 2 wins, something like that. Crazy to see. Crazy to see. But shout out to Aston Villa. Moving on. Newcastle 4, Nottingham Forest 3. Oh my days. Oh my days, this was a game. As a neutral watching this game, it was so fun to see. It was so fun to watch. I was so excited watching this game. If only there were 10 minutes of added time, this game could have probably ended a draw, or Forest could have won this game. In the first half, Newcastle came out 4 goals in 12 minutes. 4 goals in 12 minutes. Hudson-Odoi opened the game up with a beautiful finish from outside the box, beating Nick Pope. And in 12 minutes from the 23rd minute, Newcastle took control of the game. Power football, dominated, scored 4 goals, and it was 4-1 going into halftime. Halftime, like all teams do, like it's football, like it's sports. When you are dominating, you tend to be like, oh, the other team won't come back. And then you kind of sit back a bit. And that's what Newcastle did. Are forced to control. 4-3 at the 90th minutes. Obviously, with 4 minutes of added time. If it was 10 minutes, I think Forest could have probably turned this game around. Or best case scenario, they could have rescued a draw. But that was not the case. But it was fun to see because Forest had Newcastle on ropes in the second half. Newcastle could do nothing in the second half. Shout out to Newcastle for grinding out the win. Amazing game by both teams. This was a game. Oh my days. This was a game. This is the classic Premier League game we love to see. Both teams going at it. Obviously, this is a blip. Two losses for Forest back to back, and I fear it might be a third. This might be too soon to speak. I fear it might be a third, but I'm not going to say too much on that. We all know what I mean. If you know, you know. But this is still a storybook season, whether or not you like. This is still a storybook season for Forest. Newcastle just trying to get back to where they were 2 seasons ago in Champions League places. Um, yeah, but amazing game of football. Shout out to Newcastle for grinding out the win. Moving on to Ipswich 1, Tottenham 4. Tottenham seem to have found their groove. They seem to have found their spark. Bearing in mind they are playing an Ipswich team. Bearing in mind they are playing an Ipswich team that, to be honest, cannot score goals. 18 goals, I think this season. 18 goals, 19 goals, whatever. I can't remember the exact number of goals they have scored this season. But Tottenham getting their business done. I'll tell you this. When I was watching the game, I think this was in the 10 o'clock window or so. Obviously, I'm watching Goal Rush for all those games. But watching the game, Ipswich should have been 2-0 up in the first 10 minutes or something like that. First 20 minutes. 2-3-0 up they had the chances. They literally had the chances. They just couldn't score. They just couldn't score. They just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And that's kind of been their season so far. They have had the chances most of the time, but they just can't finish the chances off. Credit to Tottenham for getting their business done, finding a groove. I think this is what 3 wins in a row, 2 wins in a row, something like that. Shout out to Tottenham. Let's see how far this can take them. Again, I don't think they will finish in Europe. I think the teams above them are just playing amazing football and getting the results, getting the job done. And I think it's too late for Tottenham already. But we'll see. We'll see. Anything is possible. This is football. This is Premier League. Anything is possible. So credit to Tottenham. Amazing results in the past few weeks. Moving on, Leicester 0, Brentford 4. I'm not even going to say too much. I was watching this game on Friday. The game was done in the first half. 3-0 up in the first half. I did see Leicester even finding a way back. And it's so sad to see because Leicester are an amazing club to watch in Premier League. It's so sad to see that they can't keep a clean sheet to save their lives. Ruud van Nistelrooy, I don't know what's going on. I had him taking this ball club, and I guess my prediction might be wrong. Leicester will end up going down. It's so sad to see, especially with the fact that Wolves are getting the results. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Especially with the fact that Wolves are getting the results and they're just creating more gap. I don't think Leicester can catch up. I don't think Leicester, and it's so sad to see. But shout out to Brentford. Before 2025, Brentford had no away wins. Brentford could only win in the G10. Come 2025, they have 3 away wins already in the calendar year. That is crazy. They have played 3 away games and they have won 3 away games. Credit to Thomas Frank. He's seen that he needs to win both home and away. Oh, credit to Brentford. Credit to Brentford. Moving on, Bournemouth 1, Bournemouth 0, Wolves 1. Still a storybook season for Bournemouth, but credit to Wolves. Again, getting the win, grinding out the win, because the goal came really early, but they grinded. And obviously, red card did help. Wolves are playing 11 versus 10 against Bournemouth. So the red card did help for Bournemouth, but Wolves were still able to grind out the result, grind out the win as they continue to push to not get relegated. And I feel they won't. It's sad to say that my prediction for Ipswich not getting relegated and Leicester not getting relegated might end up being wrong. So one of my bold takes, if you all remember, for 2025 was those teams will not get relegated. Well, I fear that Wolves will be the team that will end up staying in the league. And I think that's fun to watch. I think Matheus Cunha is fun. I wish Arsenal could have just gone out and gotten. I wish Arsenal had done that, but not to make anything about Arsenal. Credit to Wolves. Big result for them. I like how the manager speaks. When he's speaking, Wolves manager Pereira, when he's speaking, he speaks like he says, we are not getting relegated. We're not getting relegated. We're going to beat come end of May, we'll be there. We'll be in Premier League. And he's speaking it into existence. Every press conference, he's saying it. Every press conference he's saying it. So shout out to Pereira and the way he's coaching that team. Moving on, Fulham 0, Crystal Palace 2. Munoz, what a goal by Munoz. I just have to start there. What a goal by Munoz. Crystal Palace, I said it. Dark horses, obviously, that prediction is wrong. Dark horses of the season will be Crystal Palace. Sorry, overachievers of the season will be Crystal Palace. To a degree, they're overachieving, but to a degree, it's taking them forever. Obviously, we all know the overachievers are Forest and Bournemouth, but Palace are not so far behind. I think Palace, Oliver Glasner has found a way to take control of the result and get the result. So shout out to Crystal Palace. As for Fulham, sad to see loss this weekend. But they are still having a good season. It's still a really good season. What are they, 10th, 11th, something like that. So shout out to Fulham. To round up the match week, Southampton 0, Brighton 4. Southampton, I'm sorry, but I've said this before and I'll say this again. The writing is already on the wall. You are going back to the championship. Shout out to Brighton taking care of business. They stood on business. They were like, we're not going to allow, we need to get what we need to get done. And they did it. They did it. So shout out to Brighton. That brings us to the end of Matchweek 26, recap and analysis. But before we head out of here, this Friday, the Champions League round of 16 draw took place. For what feels like almost a decade, Man City are not in it. It's crazy. That's crazy to think of. But yeah, the Champions League round of 16 took place. The fixtures are juicy. And yeah, I think the fixtures are really exciting to see. Before we let's talk about them. Let's talk about the fixtures. I think these are some really exciting fixtures. So let's talk about it. Yes, Champions League round of 16. Let's look at the brackets. Let's see. Obviously, y'all are viewing my screen right now. Oh no, y'all are not viewing my screen right now. But let's view it. Let's view it right now. Champions League round of 16 bracket view. So this is what the round of 16 looks like. PSV hosting Arsenal. That'll be fun to watch. I have my Arsenal winning this. That should be fun to watch. Then Real Madrid plays Atletico. Oh my days. Atletico's schedule. Let's talk about Atletico's schedule for a minute. Atletico's schedule is crazy. They play Barcelona 3 times because I think they play in the Copa del Rey semi-final and they play both home and away. Atletico plays Barcelona 3 times. Then they play Madrid twice. That's crazy. And then not to think of the other teams they play in La Liga. That is crazy to see. I don't know how Atletico will do it, but sadly, I have Madrid winning this one too. This is just their competition. Bear in mind, when they do go on to face Arsenal, I don't think they'll win. That's how I see it. Moving on, PSG then plays Liverpool. Ooh, that'll be fun to watch. That'll be exciting to watch. Ooh, that'll be spicy. I don't know who I have winning that yet. I might come out to my official prediction as we head towards that. And then Club Brugge plays Aston Villa. They already played in the group stage, if you all remember, and Club Brugge ended up winning that game. So that'll be a fun matchup. Then we have Benfica playing Barcelona. We all remember what happened last time these two teams faced off. Ended up being a goal fest. Both teams scoring for fun. I think the final result for that game was 5-4. Something like that. Barcelona winning it. Crazy last minute goal. Then Dortmund plays Lille. Then Bayern Munich plays Bayern Leverkusen. Again, kind of like the Atleti, Real Madrid, Bayern plays Leverkusen. I think this will be fun to watch because Bayern have 8 points clear at the top of Bundesliga. Leverkusen 8 points behind. So it'll be fun to watch to see both teams fight it out for the next round of Champions League. I think Bayern, the way they have been dominant in the Bundesliga, I don't think they have been as dominant in the Champions League. They have been able to get the result, but they were very lucky against Celtic. They will have to step up big time against this Leverkusen team that, unlike Bayern, have been so dominant in the Champions League, but not as dominant in the Bundesliga. And then to round us off, Feyenoord finishes with Inter. That'll be fun to watch. I don't have Inter winning that. But yeah, that's the Champions League. That's Champions League round of 16. That'll be fun to watch. That'll be really fun to watch. Really, really fun to watch. I'll come as we get closer to those matchups. I'll bring my official predictions for those matchups. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Don't forget, this was Matchweek 26 recap and analysis. We'll be back. Yes, we'll be back. New episode will be out hopefully come Friday, where we'll talk about Matchweek 27. Yes, we have midweek games this week, obviously because of the FA Cup this weekend. But we'll have an episode out for you on Friday, recapping Matchweek 27. Matchweek 27 that will see Newcastle go to Anfield to take on Liverpool. That'll be a big one. Again, this is football. Anything can happen. And then Forest take on Arsenal at the City Ground. And then the big game of the match week, Spurs hosting Manchester City. Look, I don't really care about that result. That result has no effect on me whatsoever. That game has no effect on me whatsoever as an Arsenal fan. So I look, do not care. But as a football fan, it's been so fun to watch. I look forward to it. If you all remember last season, this particular game was meant to be the game that won Arsenal the league. But obviously, Spurs could not get business done. But it's okay. I forgive you all, Spurs. Spurs, I forgive you all. It's okay. But it will be so fun to see. Yes. So we'll be back Friday. Stay tuned. Friday, new episode out Friday. I hope you'll have an amazing week ahead. This was Mine on Football Fans Podcast, your go-to for all things Premier League recap and analysis of Matchweek 26 that saw obviously Arsenal getting the headline because of losing to West Ham. West Ham handing Arsenal their first home loss. And saw Liverpool put one hand on the title with a comfortable win against Manchester City. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. And don't forget our existing and new subscribers. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you all so much. We love you guys so much. And don't forget, listen to Minor Football Fans podcast wherever you get your podcast. And check out our socials, Instagram, TikTok. Follow us. Check us out, y'all. I hope you all have an amazing week ahead. Don't forget, Friday, new episode, Matchweek 27 recap and analysis. Stay tuned for that. As always, I'm David. I'm out. Peace.
We are Rogue Media Sports.